answer,
I
which
just
means
feel
you
like...
shouldn't be.
All right, I guess we are like live.
Kind of.
Oh, that's exciting.
We're
So,
live right now.
We are live
Awesome.
right now, and
Fantastic.
yeah, it is fantastic. What I was gonna say though is, how do we send this link to Facebook?
If you go on YouTube directly, you can find the our channel.
Want to check it out, Yannick?
I'll take a look.
Yeah, so I wanna.
So
I wanna
hello
share it too.
everybody. So we are here. This is our second episode of Nobody's podcast.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And we have a special guest.
Ah!
And we have a special guest. She come from a long way away. No. And me too.
Well, thanks for inviting me. My name is Vanessa.
And what's your last name?
Sevilla,
Sevilla?
or in Spanish, Sevilla, but I never use
Sevilla.
that pronunciation. So
I can barely say
Sevilla. Sevilla. You know, my last name is Chapados. It's Chapados.
Chapetos.
Oh, it says we're
Spanish.
live. Look at that.
What's the meaning of your last name?
I don't know. I know my my grandmother on my dad's side had gotten, I don't know what do you call that, the information on our last
Somebody said
name.
it today.
I know it's Spanish. My last name is Spanish. I know that.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah,
I actually don't know what it means.
I don't know. But I know it's Spanish. And the reason why I do know that is my grandmother told me that, but she has like the whole thing. It explains like where our name came from and all that. My mom and dad
Very
know more
nice.
about it than me. All I know is that it's Chapados, but we changed it and just called it Chapado.
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 Oh, very. It sounds very elegant now.
Yeah, Chapado, yeah. Yeah. But yeah. And plus whenever I was living in
Share on
Alberta,
your wall on
Okay,
Facebook.
what?
whenever I was living
I'm
in
just-
Alberta, people I used to work with, some of them were actually from Mexico and stuff like that. And
Okay.
they're like, "Your name is Spanish, man." I'm like, "Really?" I go home and I ask my mom and dad, and they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh yeah, makes sense." Just because a lot of people think it's French, like Chapado.
Chapado. I thought it was French, but I also
It's- yeah,
thought
it's
a little
not.
bit maybe it's Spanish, but I didn't know.
No, this guy. I was working with him at a dealership, and he was like, "Yeah, your last name is Spanish." I said, "No." I said it's French. He's like, "No." He said, "Your name is Spanish." I'm like,
It's
"Oh,
Spanish.
okay.
Very
I won't
sad
argue.
thing.
I won't argue." I go home. I asked my grandfather. Sorry, not my grandmother. She passed away a long time ago. But my grandfather, yeah, he's like, yeah, it's Spanish. And my mom, my dad told me the same
Oh.
thing. So I was like, okay. All right, enough of my name.
Alright.
All right, enough of my name. So,
Hmm.
how has everybody been doing?
Mute your phone. You
Um,
told me to do it.
I'm just wondering if you guys are sharing this podcast on your wall on Facebook or something, because I want to share it on my Facebook
it.
wall before we get into that.
Yeah,
And I'll share it.
I
I'll
don't
share it on your wall.
I don't know how to share it. You need to do it because you're the from the
I sent you the
YouTube
link.
channel. Yeah, but it doesn't let me.
You can't copy the link and
Can
post
I?
it on Facebook.
Why do you sound so mean?
Oh, someone's saying
I
hello
am
to
your
us.
special guest. Excuse me.
Someone's saying hello to us.
Oh, let me
Oh,
see who it
fantastic.
is. Where's the
And
comment
just,
section?
Perfect. No, yeah.
I have
Ooh,
no
nice.
idea
I
what-
am just sharing it here.
Oh, it's Ashley. Ash! It's me.
Hi.
I'm on YouTube.
I don't know who you are, but hey.
My Mexican, I wish girlfriend. Maybe some.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Aw.
I still love her though.
Okay, I share it on my Facebook.
There you go.
Now you're happy.
Now let me post that. Let me share it. I mean, and then Daniel, Shane can share it as well, and then we'll have
We're
whole
gonna
gang.
share it.
Ah.
It's amazing.
We should make a song.
No, it says you. That's the first post.
It's there.
That's the first post.
No, it's not.
It literally.
There.
All right, I shared the. I shared it for on my wall, so now you can share it, and
And we can have it all fully shared. And
Awesome.
yes, I will get rid of my phone.
oh god, you're.
Shut my heater off. Okay.
Ooh,
All right, this is exciting.
perfect.
Let
I'm
me.
I'm just gonna
Make
move
sure
it
the
a
chat's
little
there,
bit
though, so-
this way.
Is it me or is his voice crackling?
Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, a little.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It sounds like a. I don't know if the stream is staring at me. So now you can share it.
And we can have it all fully
All
shared.
right, I'm just taking a look right now.
I will get rid of my phone.
All right, this is exciting.
Perfect.
Let me. I'm just gonna make sure the chat's there. This way. His voice crackling. I don't hear it on the stream, so it's just us for some reason.
Is it better now? Is it okay?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't hear it. Fantastic.
Definitely
Okay,
better.
maybe it was just because I was moving the stand. No, I don't know.
Possibly.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay.
Possibly.
Possibly.
All right. So I guess we shall start the actual,
The actual
conversation.
podcast. Yeah.
The topic.
Yeah,
The
we're
goal.
like,
Yeah.
we're
let's
like,
get on it.
all right, let's go back to OBS. All right, so now we see everybody here. Perfect. Okay, so, might as well just start this from scratch. So, welcome to the Nobody's Podcasts. I'm your host, and Yannick is your host. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Yannick.
My name's Yannick Labelle. This is our second episode podcast, theoretically, as far as you guys are aware. Today we're joined by Vanessa. We're going to be talking about the Truckers Convoy and the freedom and what's been going around town lately, because there's a lot of news to cover, really. Like the gas being taken away.
Yeah.
There is
Oh yeah.
more and more people that are starting to realize that what we're doing is not like a white supremacist or, racist and such.
Right.
Right. And another thing is, there's places in Canada that are opening up officially.
Exactly.
So we're definitely finally heading in the direction where everything is going to be open and we're all going to be free to do whatever we want. And that's the goal.
Sounds fantastic.
Awesome. So, all right. So we'll introduce your friend, Vanessa.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit
Vanessa
about
Sevilla.
yourself. Just we don't have to go all the way down into the.
Oh, a little bit about myself.
Yeah.
So I recently got fired due to not complying to the mandate.
Congratulations!
Vaccinated
I'm
right
just
here.
joking.
Woo! Yeah! Even better than a promotion.
Oh my gosh. So that just happened on January the 29th. And I definitely have personal and health reasons for not complying, but I absolutely support anybody's choice on whether to vaccinate or not vaccinate.
Well, yeah. Well, I know for me, I'm Shane. I live in Maine, United States. I'm actually from the same place as Yannick. We're both from Hamilton, New Brunswick, in Canada. But he lives in Ottawa, which is great because we can find out what's going on there. And I live in Maine, but we have this, so it all works. So, the last time we talked about what was going on and how, because everything was just starting. So, at the time, people were just showing up and whatnot. So, what has changed since?
All right, so the first day, me and Vanessa went, and the same day she got fired. Like,
The very same day. It was the day the convoy protest started. If that is not extremely special or some sort of miracle, I don't know what it is.
So, okay, so the first day, the big thing was there was a lot of people all bunched up in front of the parliament, and there was a lot of cars parked everywhere. There was very few trucks originally, even though it was a truckers convoy.
Right.
But obviously they were still planning to show up since they're not all of them are from Ottawa specifically, right?
Right.
So yeah, so the initial day, it was really just that, just a lot of people supporting it, protesting, saying freedom, 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 and you had a bunch of flags with "fuck Trudeau" on it. It wasn't as popular as, you know, at the beginning, but now if you go to the protests, I swear to God, every truck has some sort of way of saying "fuck Trudeau" on it. It's hilarious. But yeah, it's definitely grown a lot. And the big difference is, as the protest has gone through, there is people giving food away to anyone that's protesting, or even the homeless. There's people giving up gas to everyone. They're officially trying to get money out of I believe Give Send Go or something like along those lines, to fund the truckers to stay there for X amount of time until we're officially free, as you could say, back to normal, which would be heaven, honestly. I'm so happy and proud of my country right now. It is unbelievable.
It's absolutely beautiful.
But yeah, so big difference is there's truckers now. There's also farmers, so tractors. And
yeah, I see that.
Soon enough, there's going to be fucking horses. People riding cowboys, essentially Canadian cowboys.
For real?
I didn't know they existed.
I gotta say, I knew about the tractors, but what's the horse thing? Like, what's?
I was on TikTok. Okay. Funny enough, there's an awful lot of videos on TikTok right now, like praising the people that are protesting, and then they're saying like, "Hey, I'm here in I don't know what country." And then I support you guys. Or there's even videos of France doing it. There's videos of Germany doing it. There's videos of like other places in the world doing it. It's really, really cool. Like Toronto has a convoy now. I know that where else was it? I think New Brunswick was having a little bit of a convoy or protests. I believe in France they actually have a truckers convoy, which is awesome. France or Germany, I'm not sure which one. But yeah, just as we started, everybody else is doing the same thing. Because at this point, like, we've been waiting our 2 years. We were promised that everything was going to open up by around this time, and they've shown no signs of anything changing. And that's when we realized, wait a second, this is not just trying to get everyone vaccinated and then opening everything up. No, it's everything vaccinated, then the booster times 2. Then that's not considered booster anymore. Now you need a super booster. I don't know. It's the direction they're going is a never-ending situation, and it's essentially, as far as I'm aware, kind of China, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's even a Chinese woman on TikTok crying, and she was like, I don't want Canada to become China. This is the reason I moved here, was because of freedom.
Yeah.
She was definitely losing it when how happy she was that we were fighting for freedom. Because over there, there's not much of it, as far as I know. It's pretty wild. But yeah, that's the gist of it, up to date. Small information. But yeah, the horse thing, I saw it on TikTok, and the guy literally did this, and when he turned around, I swear to God, there was about 1,000
no way
horses, people riding it. I was like, I didn't even know they existed.
And with Canadian flags, just everybody awesome. Very proud and happy.
Yeah, you know, I saw a video, And is my volume too loud?
It's a little bit loud, but
No, it's alright.
well, I mean,
Is this you?
it's just me. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, I saw a video, and I think it's actually the same one that you're mentioning. It was the lady, and she was praising people like, like fight for your country, like, over here we don't have these types of, you know what I mean? Like they should have fought for the country a long time ago. Now it's like, they almost have to.
Even if they tried, I don't think it would change much.
Well, I mean, I think that they have enough people if they all decided to attack the Chinese military, maybe. There's like, what, 2 billion people in China or something like that? I don't know. It's some
ridiculous
crazy number. I don't know. But, yeah, she was like, I know what you were saying. She was praising, like, supporting our country and us sticking up for our rights. Yeah. The horses. Now, I knew about the tractors. I heard about that. Oh, well, I heard about. I think it was actually the other day.
Oh, it wasn't that long ago. To be fair.
Yeah, I think it was like yesterday or day before. I was in Pennsylvania and I heard about it. I was like, oh, really? Okay. But I didn't hear about the horses. Not the horses. I heard about the tractors, not the horses. But if they go down there with horses
are coming.
Well, they go down there with horses. What are the cops gonna do? Take away the feed from the horses so they can't eat?
They're gonna tie the horses down in the car and just
they
drive
may try
away.
it though until a judge rules.
Yeah, well,
the opposite.
I doubt that the officer's gonna go and take feed away from the horses because then animal control will be all over that one.
Yeah,
for sure.
So yeah, I did see videos of them going and taking the gas from some people. Like, they weren't like taking the gas out of the trucks. Let's just make that like
obviously
clear to everyone. What they were doing was people was going and giving them gas in containers, and as they were showing up with containers, the cops were taking them, which really is I call that stealing, because literally, if you paid for the gas, and someone comes and takes it from you. Why?
Yeah.
How is that legal?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
If they owned
it wasn't
it,
like you were pouring it over. It wasn't like you were taking it and trying to light the street on fire. You know what I mean? Like, you were literally bringing it there so, a protester could, still run his truck over the night or whatever, his car. You know what I mean? It's dirty. It's just because they want it to end and they don't know how to do it, and they're trying to find every little loophole, every little, any little hole that they can find to end it, they're going to try and do it. And it's dirty. It's very dirty. But the truckers aren't giving up. Like I heard today of in Saskatchewan, they're opening up, which I know you were going to elaborate on more on later. And Alberta, I don't know if this is true or not, but I think it was in Alberta, where they called one tow truck company to go and haul away some of the trucks, and the tow truck company said, yeah, sure, and they showed up, and when they got there, like, oh, sorry, we're part of this too, or something like that. I don't know if it's true, but if it is, it's great. It's great. I hope it's true, because that would be an awesome burn for the cops.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. But weren't you talking a while ago about how some of the cops were resigning?
Yes. So as the protest is going, there are a lot of cops that have been there working for years, decades, and they're making videos on TikTok, YouTube, whatever, saying, listen, when I applied for this job, it was for lawful making sure Canadians are safe and such. And then they were essentially explaining, like, hey, we're literally taking away things from them now. We're making their lives miserable. And, and they know about the laws of the protests. As long as it's a peaceful protest, we're allowed to protest. Right? So there's nothing we're doing in terms of protesting that is considered illegal or bad or in any sort of way that they should be able to stop us.
Hmm.
So when they started doing the gas thing, that's when a lot of them were like, whoa, wait a second. This is, I have my beliefs and such, and the reason I work here, and this is not it. So they're stopping. And they're saying there's an X number that is going around. I have no idea if it's true, but like half of them are thinking about resigning.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
They're feeling the pressure. We watched a video on Instagram, I believe. It was here in Ottawa and Coventry, where you have a lot of truckers parked. And you could see the police officers taking away the gas, but they looked completely demoralized. They knew that they were doing something wrong. So there was no one police officer that was actually making eye contact with the camera or with anything. They were all like with their heads down, just basically doing what they were ordered to do. So it does make sense that it creates an internal debate on whether they want to do the right thing or whether they want to keep their jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yannick and I actually found out today that a judge overruled the whole right to take away the gas from the truckers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So right now, a couple hours ago, they officially cannot take gas away from Canadians, and they were forced to give back the gas that they took
to return it. Yeah.
Well, that's excellent news. No,
it didn't take that long. Like
no.
24 hours, and then there's already a judge on it being like, "We'll wait a second. This is illegal."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Wow.
But yeah, before the judge did that though, there was hundreds of Canadians on the street holding empty cans or some that were filled with like water or
antifreeze,
and just some windshield washer, and they were just trolling the cops. And I'm like, you know what? I love Canadians.
Yeah,
they're doing things that are just
very, very
didn't even think about
right
that.
Now.
And there were so many people. It was hilarious.
So when did the judge rule on this? Just today?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Do you have a video of that? You can send me. Maybe I can.
I don't think it's a video. It's just it was
kind of like an article that was shared by different, you could say, different publishing companies. So it was very exciting to find out.
Wow.
So it must have happened very early this morning, because when we found out, it was already like 9 hours ago or something. So
yeah. But there was videos going around where people were taking back their gas, so it's official, definitely.
Oh, geez. I mean,
I think that's fantastic that they're actually like someone out there is, putting them in their own place, being like, "Whoa, wait a second, you can't do this legally."
Yeah, really.
Absolutely fantastic.
So I'm so happy that there's some sort of power out there that's helping us, even though it's.
Now you mentioned that. Now you mentioned that, right? Now let's just think about this for a second. So the judge ruled and said that's not legal, right?
Yeah, you can't do that.
Exactly. All right. And you have to return them.
Yeah. Okay. So that is excellent. But how come, were they willing to do that? Okay. Knowing, like they had to have known that was illegal. So how come were they doing it, knowing that, hey,
you do it or
this is going to last a day or two? I mean, they're taking gas from people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe they need that. I don't know. I mean, I think they do. I mean, if they're going to sleep in their trucks or they're going to sleep in their cars, I mean, they need heat. So what are you going to do? Just have a bunch of dead people laying on the street because they couldn't fuel up their cars? I mean... Like they're allowed to protest, and they're gonna go take their gas that they paid for or someone paid for and they gave to them. You know what I mean? They didn't steal it.
Yeah.
So it's like they knew it wasn't legal, but they were willing to do it, hoping that no one would say anything. They'd be just like, so let's just put this in the small little form factor here. Let's say the cops would have came and took everyone's gas. Everyone said, "Well, you're taking all our gas. I guess we got to leave." Then what would have happened? Everyone would have left and went home. Would they have ruled anything on it? Because then what?
I mean, at that point, it'd be too late, probably.
It'd be too late. But then again, they did something illegal. You know what I mean? And then
I think, well, I mean, no matter what, they did it, right?
yeah, they
It's
did.
been done. So it's
been done.
official that forever and ever, someone was able to do that.
Yeah. Well, not just someone. That's literally the government. The government obviously had the cops go there and say, hey, listen, we don't want this protest going on. We don't want the people being there. It's, you know, and then they're saying that civilians are pissed off. It's like, really? Because I seen like last weekend, like just the weekend that just passed, everyone's dancing in the streets, music's going on. I mean, I'm sure there's some loonheads that are like, you know, oh, I hate this and that. It's like, I'm sorry, but like, this is a one time. You're probably not going to get back again to fight for your country without having to go and actually, you know, fight each other. You know what I mean? This is like the most, like everyone's saying it. Every podcaster that I've listened to, the ones that actually make sense, are like, this is the most peaceful protest that they've ever seen in their life.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And the news, yeah, and NBC, CBC, CNN, and fucking everybody is just like, they're trying to find something wrong. Like there was one person with a swastika flag and there was some loonhead carrying the Confederate flag. It's like, sorry, but do you know anything about fucking anything? The Confederate flag has nothing to do with Canada. Okay, I'm not smart. I'm not that smart. I know that. Like, you know, and they ended up kicking those two people out of there because, like, no, they weren't there for what the truckers were there for, right? But then, I mean, you know, Trudeau goes on fucking. Sorry, I know I'm swearing a lot. Trudeau goes on. Trudeau goes on and talks about those three things.
Yeah.
You know,
and only those three things.
Yeah.
Only those three
Talks
things.
about.
He doesn't say anything nice about people.
Yeah, nothing good. He just makes any one person that did something wrong that was a one-time thing, like the swastika flag. Okay, that was awful, but they didn't want him there, so they got rid of him.
Yeah.
Confederate flag. The guy carrying the Confederate flag, they got rid of him too. Those were the two things. The only two things that they pointed out that was bad. And then I guess there was some story about some guy in an apartment building or something like that.
Some guy pissed on the graves.
Okay, yeah, well, he's an asshole. So he's an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Like, nobody else did that. We weren't all fucking pissing on their. If we were all doing it, then okay.
Yeah, I get it.
That's definitely bad. But one guy.
And there was no commentary on all the beautiful Canadians that were cleaning out, you know, whatever happened. So there was no commentary on all the Canadians that were cleaning out the snow, cleaning all the places. Like, it was just, they were picking out the trash of the protest. Like, they've been keeping that area extremely clean. It hasn't been the city. It's been the Canadians that are protesting.
Right.
No comment on that.
Yeah. I mean...
Why?
It's no. I mean, what I was gonna say is essentially the organizers of the Freedom Convoy. They were saying they bought over 100 shovels just so we could shovel the sidewalks, the streets, just because obviously the plow can't pass through like trucks. Wow. So they bought a bunch of shovels, propane, gas, food for everyone that's there. Not just truckers, everyone. And like when they're saying, hey, we stole food from the homeless because what the fuck are you on about?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible that there was a dickhead out there that did. Maybe he was paid to do it, right? I mean, like there was literally, I think yesterday, a guy that climbed on one of the statues. Everyone around him, everyone that was protesting was like, get the fuck down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is going to be on the news because of your ass. And it's obviously he's not protesting with us. He was paid to be there or doing it because he doesn't want us there.
Right.
So like obviously like every little thing that they're saying that's bad about us is this one guy that either doesn't want us to be protesting or is getting paid to do it so that we get bad reputation.
Yeah, I know.
But now people are talking so much about it that the general population is realizing that, wait a second, they're not telling the truth. You know, if you look at any video that's from the protesters themselves, and just even if it's an hour live stream, there's not a single point in it where it's like people being angry, people doing damage, nobody's doing anything bad. They're holding up signs, chanting. There are people like giving out speeches. There's music playing. People are dancing. Truckers are honking and they're making noise. They're very proud of themselves. They're showing passion. They're happy because they finally have a feeling of the light at the end of the tunnel at this point, because we don't see that light anymore. The government, Trudeau, were not making that light visible. They had a fucking gate closed with a fucking berry on top of it, and they weren't planning on opening it because they saw the power, they saw the money, especially from the vaccine. Like there's stories, like the creator of Moderna was saying that people
at least in mRNA technology.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Robert Malone.
Yeah, he said himself on the stream that people, at least in the US, I'm not sure about Canada, that by confirming that it is COVID, they're getting paid to do it. Like the hospital is getting paid to have
hospitals are getting money by confirming case by case
deaths, that it's COVID. Cases, everything revolving around COVID, they're getting money from it. So why would you want COVID to end? You know, it'll make a bad, financial decision. It'll be a bad financial decision.
Yeah, bad business decision.
Well, if you've ever watched, I mean, I don't watch CNN, and I don't watch Stephen Colbert anymore either. But at the end of his show, or CNN, you'll see sponsored by Pfizer. You know what I mean? You think that a person that's sponsored by a company, they're gonna go and bash them? Like, there goes your sponsor. You know what I mean? It's like going to a dealership and you're going to buy a car and the salesman says, "Oh yeah, that's a piece of shit, man. Yeah, he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna sell you own cars, man. Come on."
You need to ask a third party. You can't just go to the creators of the vaccine. It's just not. Which is the very interesting part of this doctor, Robert Malone, that he was part of the creation of the mRNA technology. He's titled the person who contributed the most, and the fact that he's speaking out against it is just unbelievable. Like he knows what he's talking about.
He's not against vaccines, he's just against the idea of people not being able to know the whole story about the whole technology.
Well, that's the thing, right? They found a way to use it in a way that they don't have to be completely honest. They just want you to think that it's good, take it, and you're going to be okay. And then they'll change their mind. And later on down the road, they're going to say, yeah, just take it. It's good. You're going to be fine. But don't ask any questions. Like, they don't want you to ask questions. You know what I mean? And, I mean, well, this guy, Robert Malone, that you're talking about, like, what is he, like, the creator of it? Of that mRNA?
The mRNA technology.
So how is he not relevant? You know what I mean?
They're just deplatforming him. They're trying to make him not be part of it.
Exactly.
They'll cancel culture, essentially, is what you can call it.
Yeah. Well, I know the Joe Rogan, that podcast, I got a lot of flack from people. Well, not everybody, but from some people. And
well, they can't cancel Joe Rogan, right?
No.
He's too big of a figure at this point for them to do anything. Yeah, and if they do manage to somehow cancel Joe Rogan, he's gonna pop up on a different social media, or he's gonna have a protest on just him. It's like there's too many people that know him that like him.
Follow him. Yeah, that's true.
It would create chaos.
He gets like 11 million. He gets like 11 million views a day.
Literally.
Oh, that's my phone. Hold on a second here, guys.
We are having technical difficulties.
No,
I apologize as the co-host / host.
I apologize as the invited person.
Yeah, it's okay. I just had to take that. me a second here. You guys can keep talking about something. I just gotta do something quick.
All right.
Sounds about right.
So up until now, I personally haven't seen the need to protest, but the whole scene,
I'll be right back, guys. You guys can talk. I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So for me, I've been extremely excited and happy to see the protest the way it has been, to see, because when you are there, you can see how everybody's just so nice, so happy, and people are not wearing masks generally, though some people are, and it's vaccinated and unvaccinated.
It can be cold. Sometimes you wear a mask.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, it's not like you feel forced to do it. And it's not necessarily everybody unvaccinated. What I have seen is that there are a lot of people that are fully vaccinated and simply supporting the rights of the unvaccinated people, and they themselves, vaccinated or unvaccinated, they just want the economy to reopen. We don't want to see any more business closed. We don't want to see more people driven to homelessness. We don't want to see more people driven to depression and suicide. We want the economy to reopen, and we want to be able to live our lives. And for me, this whole time, I have felt like an extreme minority, as over 90% of Canadians are vaccinated, and I have chosen to remain unvaccinated. So it's been very rough, but just seeing all this support and all this love, I am once again proud to be Canadian. And so it's not, I personally believe that we shouldn't be fighting against each other. We should be just supporting each other so we can get through this, and we can once again reopen the economy, and we can give children the opportunity to live normal lives, just like a lot of us had the opportunity to just go to school, and we didn't have to social distance. We didn't have to hide our faces and our smiles. So why should the new generations do that?
That's crazy.
Yeah. For me, getting laid off due to not being fully vaccinated, and on top of that, even if I had been fully vaccinated, my company was asking me to get all the boosters that were going to be suggested. So one way or another, I was eventually going to get laid off. So they pushed it for as long as they could. January 29 was the date I was officially laid off from my job. I believe the whole company had to lay off enough employees that they may be closing down one of the hotels or one of the conference centers that they own, of how many people they had to lay off. And this was not mandated by the government. However, the company created this mandate and enforced it. And it just feels very much unfair. So I am 100% supporting the Canadian Convoy protest, and I am here.
Don't be sorry.
No, I'm not sorry. I am fighting for freedom. And up until now, I personally haven't seen the need to protest, but the fact that the government is making people, I guess, the fact that the government is making these companies create those policies, and just basically a lot of people would have no choice but to either become homeless or do something that they don't want to do. Nobody should be forced any medical treatments or anything. All medicines, including Tylenol, come with side effects, so you should be able to make your own choice. Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
It's 100% correct. So it's just terrifying how they are forcing people to do that, and they're making them choose their health versus just complying. So so if I could, I would be at the protest every single day.
I mean, you can, but
well, I can be there for as much as I can personally. So what is your opinion on this?
Well, my opinion on this is I was okay with waiting until we reopened initially, hence why I was super pro-vax, and I was keeping my social distancing. I actually felt like people that got too close to me, I felt discomfort at that. It got to the point where it was pretty bad, and then I just eventually, as time went on, I just was like, they said we were going to reopen once I was 75% vaccinated. And then they changed it from 75 to 95. And it's like, what do you mean 95? Like, what? As soon as the vaccine came out, I mean, and although it's very experimental, and it still is, because vaccines takes years of research to find out what it does 100%. And essentially right now, where everyone that's taking it's a bit of an experiment. And there's even like the guy that was
Robert Malone.
He was talking about how if you already had COVID, you shouldn't take the vaccine because you'll have bigger side effects if you have that side effects. So it's definitely like you should definitely be allowed to make the decision whether or not you want to be vaccinated. And I shouldn't say never. And originally when a vaccine came out, I was definitely like, take it, take it. Let's get this over with. Because in my head, as far as I knew, I was told that we were going to reopen the sooner everyone has or most people have the vaccine. And as time went on, I came to the realization that nothing's changing. And they're not planning to change anything. And then you start thinking about okay, we're wearing a mask. What does the mask do? Okay, the mask filters out a bit of your spit. So it prevents spit from going on the ground. There are scientists / doctors saying that touch contact is not as bad as the in-air contact. So I don't know. There's a lot of research that is not complete, that is not confirmed in general. So it's so hard to just be like, okay, take it, because if you don't, you're making you're killing other people. That's the biggest one that I've heard, is where the people that are not vaccinated are killing other people. That's not true. It's not, especially the Omicron version that just essentially came out. That one, as far as the research goes at the moment, if you're vaccinated, you have a higher chance of getting the Omicron. And the transmit rate is the same as if you were vaccinated or not. So at this point, we've gone to a stage where it really doesn't matter. And the people that say that you're going to die or you're going to kill someone by not being vaccinated are completely out of logic. They've lost touch with
reality.
The reality.
Mm-hmm.
The people that have either created the vaccines or that have spoken out.
Kill somebody.
They're the ones that need to be trusted. They've done the research. They've read the real paper. They've read several hundred papers that confirms their theory, because we only have so much. It's just, I don't know.
It's just pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
And well, personally, in my humble opinion, if a vaccine works, then you get the vaccine and then you feel safe. You shouldn't be scared of people who didn't take the vaccine. If your vaccine works, if the social distancing works, if the mask works, the hand sanitizers, if any of that works and you're fully vaccinated, please don't be scared of everybody else. Just keep protecting yourself as much as you can, but we are not a threat. The unvaccinated are not a threat.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do too. It's just that they're trying to. Well, that's just what you call pure assholes. Try and turn people on each other by pointing at each other like, "Oh, you're the problem. Oh, you're not wearing a mask. Oh, you're the issue." You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The thing is, so I was asking this to someone that is what you could consider pro-vax. They told me, well, yeah, we need to keep doing this. We need to keep fighting for this. The protest is ruining everything.
Right.
And, my biggest point was like, okay, so let's say we go back and everything opens up.
Right.
Do you have the freedom to stay home and quarantine? Do you have the freedom to still wear a mask? Do you still have the freedom to take your 3rd dose, 4th dose, 5th dose if they ever come out?
Yeah.
Yes. It's not going to be not mandatory. And then, I brought up, okay, so you're wearing your mask. What does it protect you against? Okay, it filters out, your spit and other people's potential spit. And it also protects you against from touching your own nose or mouth, which is one of the things that people have said or studies have shown, I guess.
Well, we all know it doesn't protect you from a chipmunk.
Having the mask there prevents you from touching your nose and mouth.
Well,
right?
actually,
Whereas if you don't have it, then obviously if you touch your nose and mouth, as far as it's been shown.
however, germs do spread. So if you have the mask on and you touch the mask at any given point, supposedly those germs are gonna make it to your face. So
I doubt it.
I mean, that's what they say.
They're stupid small. I really doubt they're that fast.
Do you know how like ridiculous we sound? Just saying. You know.
Hey, that's what a
joking.
very pro-vaccine person told me. And showed me a couple of videos on the subject.
I doubt
so.
it. Thing is, I don't believe it. I'm sorry, but there's not enough research to prove that in general. As far as I know, you touch your face, touch your thing. Once you get home, remove the mask, wash it. If you're that scared of it, wash it every time you get home. Right? You're not gonna be out for 25 hours a day. It's an 8-hour shift if you're working.
Yeah.
You're gonna come back home, you wash it. You know, if you're that terrified of getting, especially if you're already vaccinated, hence you already have the belief that it's gonna protect you.
Right.
Well,
anyway, but yeah, for me, it's like if you want to protect yourself against getting COVID, after everything opens up, you still can. You don't have to go to the movies with other people. You don't have to go to restaurants and sit down.
You don't have to go to family reunions.
You can even stop working if you want.
Or
what's
work
gonna
from
happen
home.
Though? You don't have money. You know what's happening right now? If you're unvaccinated, you don't have a job.
You get fired. You're pushed off to homelessness. Or
do you want a
how
job?
terrifying that is.
Yeah. Watch in like 5 years from now, they're gonna have sponsors being like, "Do you want a job?
Do you want a
it'll be like
full-time podcast on Spotify? Hell yeah!
Do you want a job? Then you're a loser."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, be some lawyer dressed up in a suit, and he'll be like that insurance guy. If anybody tells you to go to work, you come to me. Dial 1-888 lawyer now. You deserve freedom of doing nothing. That almost sounds like a Grand Theft Auto commercial.
Toronto's convoy is kind of whack though.
What?
I haven't been following the Toronto convoy. Do you know anything about it?
I just know that for a couple of days it was probably bigger than the Ottawa convoy. There's so much support.
I mean,
of people.
4 million
it's
people
good.
instead of 1.
Well, that's good.
That's huge. It's unbelievable. It's incredible, and it's definitely working for Canadian freedom.
Well, what I did hear is that there's still going to be a lot of people going to Ottawa like on the weekends and stuff like that. And that's what they're telling people. It's like, no, it's not that we're leaving. It's the fact that people have lives, and the people that can afford to be there are there. Yeah, and the ones that aren't there during the week, they're going to be there on the weekend. And what a lot of them is doing is, instead of just staying in one area, they're going to all the city. They're trying to go to all like the major places to make their voices heard there too.
That's incredible.
I heard that there was actually I've heard of that. There was a guy on TikTok being like, all right, so I've gone to this, and this place. Today I'm going to Toronto to support the Freedom Convoy. And I was like, this guy's awesome. Going to every place, not just Ottawa.
That is incredible.
I'd be like, hey, Justin Trudeau, are you hiding in Toronto? Oh, you are.
Nah, he's hiding in the U.S. I mean, no, I think he's back in Canada. Because he was in the Parliament, not the Parliament building.
Maybe
he's in...
Someone was like, maybe he's in the United States of America.
Your sister said that.
Can you imagine if he was? Could you imagine if he was in the States somewhere, just like in Hawaii or something? You know, just telling all us Canadians. Oh, I mean, I don't live there anymore, but telling all you who's living in Canada what to do. And he's in like Hawaii in some like motel off the beach. Yep, gotta pretend I'm in Canada now. Put my toque on. Yep. Go inside. We have to stay locked down. As soon as he cuts the Zoom off, you see him just partially take his mask off before the Zoom ends. It's like, wait, what did he do there? Sorry, guys.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But what an idiot. I mean, a lot of the leaders are complete idiots, though. I swear to God. Like,
Oh my God. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
like there was some in the United States here that were they were telling, like, well, I don't think it's news, but they were telling their people, like, in their cities and whatnot, to, like, wear a mask, it's dangerous to go out, and this and that, giving them fines if they don't obey and stuff, and then they catch them out and about with their family, no mask, nothing on. And it's just, it's incredible to see the dishonesty, because even when they're caught, they try and find a way to make it like they didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? It's like, stop playing the mind games. Like, we caught you, just admit it. You know, if you see someone
just
picking their
admit it.
nose, they're fucking picking their nose. That's just it. There's no other way to explain it. Like, if you know, they were caught somewhere not wearing a mask, and you just legitimately just told the people in your city or town, like, you have to wear a mask or else, like, you can't go out, or, you know, we're mandating it, and then you're going out and not obeying by your own rules, and you get caught. I mean, you get caught. You know what I mean? Just like Nancy Pelosi in San Francisco, she went to this hairdresser salon, and she was all about masking and all and this and that, wear a mask, and she was in the hair salon without a mask on, and I think, don't quote me if I'm wrong, but don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I think she was closed on that day, and she just opened for her, but she was still in there walking around without a mask. And whenever this lady went, like, viral about it, that she didn't wear a mask and she was on camera not wearing one, they tried to fucking shut her down.
Wow.
Yeah, but San Francisco is like a super shithole right now. If you ever want to see that, just go on YouTube, look it up. It's horrible. Do you know about this, Vanessa?
No, I have not heard about this.
You don't? Oh,
No.
God. Well, let me see here. Let's get up my Safari from, like, 1992. San Francisco. Stealing
Noises when touching
video.
Fine.
Stealing from stores. So okay, I'm just trying to see, because there was a story here.
Okay, well, you find the story. I just want to make a comment on how hypocritical some politicians are, because you can see them basically forcing children in schools to social distance and to wear masks. However, you see them at their own parties when they take all the pictures and they publish them without wearing masks, just basically socializing in their parties. This happened with the government of Manitoba, and it was unbelievable, because they also, the fact that they enforced the masking and the social distance on children, like very, very young children, is just unbelievable.
Well, it goes to show that they're not doing it because they're trying to protect themselves against COVID. They're doing it because a lot of money's coming out of it.
Absolutely, but children shouldn't have to pay for their mistakes. It's not fair.
It definitely is not.
See, that's what I think, that not all politicians are stupid. However, we don't know who they're receiving money from. So we don't know why they keep supporting the stupid policies they keep producing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, we don't know what Trudeau is hiding from. We don't know why.
Well, we know a bit. We know a lot.
What do we know?
We don't know everything, but we know a lot.
Did you hear?
We know enough.
Did you hear about the whole blackface thing with Justin Trudeau?
Yes, which happened more than once. How do you do that more than once in your lifetime?
Yeah, I gotta. You know what? It's so horrible. Like, it's just the fact that, you know, you apologize for something like that, but it's like, no matter what you do, sir, that apology's never gonna be good enough, because it's so funny, but yet so wrong. I'm gonna post it on here, so If you want to see it, you'll have to go on the live stream, but mute it so you can see what I'm about to show here, you Nick. Actually, I'll just share my screen, and then, yeah, that's all I'll do. I don't think I can. Yes, I can. I'm gonna share my screen, and
Love that thumbnail.
sorry, I'm still not the greatest at this. I'm still trying to figure it all out. Okay. So, right here, like, look at this.
That's Justin Trudeau.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
I mean, like, I'm just gonna go back to here. I think.
My beautiful face.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, you're seeing kind of. Yeah, look at this. Like, how bad?
Wow.
Like, look at the hands, man.
Even
Everything.
the hands. He went all
Everything.
detail.
Oh, wow, he went all out.
He went to like Vegas and just like, look, he did everything.
How long ago was this anyway?
Timeline created by
2001.
Miguel shows 30
April
documented
2001.
blackface incidents from 2005 to 2016
To 2016. He was still doing it in 2016?
in Canada. Yeah.
That was definitely not okay in 2016.
Wow.
2005, I feel like because of social media wasn't as big, people wouldn't have cared as much or wouldn't have noticed it.
Right.
In 2016, YouTube
not
was
long
pretty
ago.
popping.
Yeah, like, look, that's him now. That's him. Like,
Oh, God.
how
That's so
wrong is
bad.
that?
Oh no, that's so bad.
Wow.
Oh my god, that's crazy. I just want to see something here. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure this out. Oh, nope. Nope. I don't know if anybody can see it, but anyway, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, and he's definitely done it more than once. So it's like, seriously.
Yeah, no. Like, there's no, and then he'll go and call all these truck drivers racist and stuff like that. It's like, if they were doing legitimately racist things, then I think that people would be like, okay, yeah, like, they should stop, but they're not.
They're not. Like, when you're actually at the protest, it's one of the most beautiful celebrations I've ever seen personally. And I've gone to a couple of Canada Days, and it was just
It's equivalent.
you can feel the love, you can feel the passion. Everybody's dancing, everybody's smiling, everybody's like, I know I have some friends that have been like hugging each other. I personally just went. I didn't have the opportunity to hug any protesting Canadians yet, but it was just incredible. The love, the unity, the freedom is just, we're all ready to reopen society.
There was
Yeah.
even fireworks.
Fireworks,
Was there
imagine
really?
live
Yeah.
music, fireworks, speakers, dancing, of course. There was even like smoke. I don't even know what that was,
Yeah,
but
there
it
was a
was
little smoke bomb.
it was like a
grenade thing.
rave. It was
Oh my
amazing.
God.
It's the party that we have been denied for 2 years.
Jesus.
It was
Yeah.
wild. It was so awesome.
It was
And there was
incredible.
a lot of people Saturday last week.
Was there?
An awful lot of people.
Yeah.
And the thing is, unlike the first day of the protests where the majority was in one spot, this time around the Saturday, it was a lot everywhere. Like, people were walking, and there was big groups, there was families, and they were all holding Canadian flags, fuck you Trudeau flag. A lot of them had protest signs. Almost every single trucker or trucks that I've seen from truckers had a Canadian flag on it, had some sort of word that said, what they thought, like, freedom and such. and you can't miss it. There's
Yeah.
so much of it.
Actually, on Saturday morning, I went out just for skating with my family, and we were not looking for the people protesting, but they were just coming out of the center of the city. So
That's
many
crazy.
people protesting and
It's
parked everywhere.
Wow.
Unbelievable and beautiful.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try and come. I want to try and come down.
Yes.
I was telling yeah, Nick this. I'm sure you know. I just want to.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, and then we can film the whole thing. And like I was telling them, what I'd like to do is go to Walmart or somewhere and get like nice reporter-looking clothes. And this way here, like we kind of
We can interview people.
look like they're like we're professional. Get like a suit.
No, well, if they rate us like there's some they were saying, if we look like reporters, we might have less of a chance of getting swatted.
That's
like,
what I was
just
thinking.
reporting
Like
news.
if we look like a reporter,
We're
they're
just
like,
here
oh
for
well,
the-
yeah. No, well, I hope that they don't do that because it'll.
Well, if they do, it's
Yeah.
gonna cause chaos.
Yeah, because what
on the internet.
Well, think of this
everywhere.
now. Now think of this now, okay? Now there's not just protests in Ottawa. It's a lot of the cities. So let's say this weekend there's all these protests going on in like Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, and Saskatchewan, and I know that they are totally on board with like getting back to normal. So that's good. I'm
Yes.
happy about
Yes,
that.
yes, yes.
Then they have Toronto, Ottawa, and all of these other little cities all the way down. If they're all like having these convoy protests and the cops decided to go and fucking, try and kick everybody out, like you were saying, raiding the place, you're literally going to have cities in every province just like out of control at that point. And I don't think that they are going to do that because I think that they are smarter than that.
Well, I mean,
Because
they tried the gas, and that got canceled pretty quick.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
was not
So I highly
smart at
doubt
all.
they'll try like swatting us, because that's also not good or legal. Because as what they were saying, the amendment was written, we're allowed to peacefully protest.
Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
So them trying to arrest us for peacefully protesting
It's just not
won't
fair.
work.
No.
Yeah, but see, in the eyes of them, there's laws, but as long as they are following them, it doesn't apply to you guys. As long as you guys are listening to them, that's what applies. But you see, it didn't work out for them this time. They did something that was illegal, and they were probably even arresting people. That was an illegal
Yes,
arrest.
23 arrests.
Yeah, they made
Wow.
23 then illegal arrests. If it was all pertaining to the gas, that's 23 illegal arrests. So is there going to be lawsuits there? What's going to happen? You know what I mean?
Probably.
I hope.
I mean, I would.
Well, yeah. I mean, like they're making things in the laws that aren't laws. It's just like a cop abusing their power.
Yeah.
You know?
And this
Exactly.
time it's not a cop, it's the chief commander.
Yeah.
And all the cops that want to keep their job, you better listen to the chief commander.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, sometimes,
Just-
everyone has a job and everyone's got to make money somehow. But sometimes, if it gets that bad, then maybe you got to really think about, where do your cards lie? Like, do you support freedom? And if you do, then you're on the wrong side of it. And, people, it's also like, yeah, people have families to feed and stuff. But if they don't, and they're just like, I guess it would be easier to just like kind of, okay, I'm done. But I think that what happened is that this has gone on for too long, and that this should have been done a long time ago. And where it's
Yeah.
being done now, it's good that it's happening. It's just that, there's already a lot of people that lost their businesses, and already a lot of things that changed that ain't gonna go back to what it was in 2019. Might as well say it's 2019 because in 2020 everything was starting to shut down. So you know,
I think the first protest that should have happened is when we got the first lockdown, because lockdown has ruined. That's what really killed a lot of things.
yeah.
We did have some people protesting. However, I
I
guess
know.
majority of us actually believed that after that lockdown, those 2 weeks, those few weeks that we were actually
Well, we
going to
were told
reopen
2
society
weeks.
again.
2 weeks lockdown, and then everything like we're gonna be zero or near zero.
So unfortunately, we
then-
didn't support the Canadians that were protesting back in those days. So now it's the time to support them. Support
2
us.
weeks. Oh, sorry, you meant 2 years. My bad.
Oh, sorry, you meant
2 years
2
and
years.
counting. You
Yeah,
know?
really,
It's-
right?
It's just unbelievable.
It's almost 2 years. March.
Yeah, nearing there. We're getting there.
March is 2 years.
But I swear to God, I guarantee that March is gonna be. We're gonna be open. If we're not open by March, then they're really stalling.
Well, I'm just gonna point this
We're
out.
already in February.
Like the United Kingdom. Okay, I'm just gonna type this in. I'll type this in really quick. I'm actually gonna go to here. I'm gonna. Oh. We don't see any of the pictures you're showing. No, okay. No, yeah, I know. I'm still getting used to this thing. You guys still see me? Good.
Yeah.
We can see you, yes.
Okay, yeah. All right.
See, people were okay with following rules and regulations. They were okay with getting vaccinated, and they were okay with the promise of eventually reopening. But now that even like places started to close down, even for people double and triple vaccinated, it's just unbelievable. Double and triple vaccinated people unable to go to the movies and to restaurants. I think that's when everybody sort of started to wake up and realize that whatever is going on is not right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's. I know a lot of people I talk to, like on the road, a lot of them, they just say, like, I just can't wait for things to go back to normal. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, do you think it's going to go back to normal? Or do you think it's going to get close? And a lot of them are like, well, I think that if it's done right, it could be normal again. But it's like just in near the town I'm in, there's already a bunch of stores that's closed. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, where are they now? And every time you go to Subway, you go to a restaurant, you never see the same people working there anymore.
No.
That is true.
I mean, McDonald's is common even before COVID. But
Yeah.
in majority of places, it's usually the same workers for at least a year or two.
Exactly.
Like Staples is a great example for this. Before COVID, there was about 35 employees. When COVID hit, 7 employees quit or just were done because I think they were getting laid off essentially, and they didn't reapply for the job. I mean, it's not a job where you want to stay there forever for the rest of your life. You're not getting enough money out of it that's going to make you want to stay.
Right.
Or you're not getting enough support from the actual business owners and such. But yeah, as it went on with the next lockdown, more people quit. People have been there for 2 years, nearly 10 years and such. Those people were quitting. And it came to the point where right now, in this current situation, there's like probably 15 people working.
Wow.
And they're only allowed 400 some hours, probably, maybe a bit more, for a whole week. Yeah, per week. So you can only have like 10 of them working full time, and then the 5 other ones that would theoretically work there have to work at very limited hours.
Yeah.
So because of that, it's, they're not losing their job, but they're not working full time anymore. They're not getting paid the same amount anymore because they're not working as long. So the people that are working there, they're essentially losing their job.
Right.
And we're not even in a lockdown at the moment.
Right.
But things like that are happening across a lot of big businesses because they're like, hey, we're not making as much money here anymore. There's not enough customers. There's people that won't even come to Staples because of the fact they don't want to wear a mask.
Right.
And things of that nature.
Well, I'll tell you this much.
People aren't like, another thing that was a big deal was people aren't applying for jobs as much or as often. That's a big thing about Ottawa. It's known for a big place for jobs, for starting whatever. The fact that not a lot of people are applying for that job, it doesn't have to be Staples, it's any job. It's really concerning because obviously there's a lot of help from the government for staying home during COVID. And why would you work if you're getting paid more money by staying home?
Right.
I don't know if that's still going on anymore. I haven't checked, honestly.
I don't believe it's going on. I think it only applies to people who are infected of COVID or have a relative to take care of.
But yeah, that was a big problem, though. At one point, people were receiving more money by not working, or a little bit less, but enough that it pays the bills.
Right. Well, it's like how many people were milking the COVID? Oh, I'm sick. Can't come into work for 2 weeks automatically.
Yeah, you can say, I got a cough. I'm sorry, can't come to work.
Yeah.
And then 14 days, even if you're vaccinated, it's so retarded.
Yeah. Well,
if it was really true that you can't transmit the virus for some reason, they said that if you have a vaccine and you basically don't get symptoms, why the F would I be locking myself down at home, quarantining for 14 days if it had no effect?
Right.
They shortened it though. If you're vaccinated, now you only quarantine for 5 to 10 days, depending on your symptoms.
In Canada?
In Canada. 14 days is for unvaccinated people.
Here
because they're the real.
Yeah, because they're the real problem. Here it's 5 days, I think. I'll look it up later, but I think it's 5 days.
You know what's my biggest issue with vaccines?
What?
I feel that people feel that the vaccines are a miracle cure. They forget completely about personal responsibility, because if you don't want to get sick of anything, you have to take care of yourself. A vaccine is not going to solve that on its own. You have to eat fruits, vegetables, exercise, take vitamins,
Don't lick other people's arms. Make sure to not try to get.
just take care of yourself, regardless on whether you get your vaccine or not. Take care of yourself, because your vaccine is not gonna have any miracle results.
In other words, all the things I should do. But
it's like if vaccines were vitamins, like, oh, my vitamin didn't work today because Janet didn't take his vitamin. Like, oh no, how are we going to live in this society where people don't take their vitamins?
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the things it did show was that vitamin D was very helpful. I don't know how much or whatnot, but they said that it was good to take vitamin C and all that too.
I mean, in Canada, even if COVID was not a thing, you're supposed to take vitamin almost every day, at least during winter. You just don't get enough sunlight here.
Well, what was it? Oh, we were talking about how, with the workers and all that. Just get back at that for a second.
Sounds good.
The place where I went and dropped off my trailer today, well, I guess they're just like, they're basically stuck because people are just calling in sick with, guess what, COVID. So they're why. And they're behind. It's like, well, okay, you have like a whole warehouse, and you have trucks coming in, out, and people just decide not to go to work. I mean, that puts a strain on the business, and they don't realize that.
It's true.
Now, I sometimes go out towards like the Binghamton, New York area. It's like a small city type town in um, New York, the state of New York, and there's a Wendy's there, and I remember last year, pretty much all year, but for a while they had a sign up in the Wendy's because every week I would go in, there'd be somebody new. And sometimes it
Wow.
would be from one person that was new to a couple of people that was new. Like every weekend you'd see a trainees tag on someone's shirt. You know what I mean?
Wow.
No, that's not a joke. And some would stay, some I think have stayed since the beginning, but the majority of them that I've seen were like, oh, okay, I never seen that one before. And then all of a sudden you go back again, same thing. Well, what they were doing, because they were having such a hard time keeping people, they decided to do same day pay. So like you went in at like, I don't know, what did they open up at like 5 in the morning? And then at the end of your shift, they legitimately gave you your pay for the
Wow.
day. So if you didn't show
Wow.
up the next
That
day,
is unbelievable.
so if you didn't show up the next day, then well, you didn't
that
get
was
paid.
fine.
But if you showed up and you worked a full day, then you got paid.
I wouldn't mind getting a same day pay. Actually, as a freelancer, you can. That's what I'm working on.
Modern solutions for modern problems.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how easy that would be to do, like in New Brunswick or something like that. But I know out in New York they were doing it,
Oh man,
doing the
okay.
whole
Well, I
same
mean,
day pay.
if you have enough people and enough people that need money, I'm sure they'd be willing. But I'm almost certain that people would be like, I hate this job instantly. Like even though they're getting paid at the end of the day, if they're just doing it for the money, that's where you're gonna train someone for nothing really.
Yeah.
You're gonna get 1 day out of them, 2 days a week maybe, and then they're gonna be like, well, I don't really like this job, but thanks for the pay.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Really.
So it's not gonna help people to stay. But at this point, like they were saying in New York, or some New Yorkers were saying, like people are getting paid to stay at home. So a lot of businesses in New York, because they have such a big rent on everything, like crazy rent, they cannot afford to stay there. What they can do is say, hey landlord, I can't pay this the rent right now, so can you drop it by 50%? And they can say yeah, but next year, the same month, you're gonna pay that 50% you didn't pay last year.
Right.
So good luck surviving after that 1 year.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things, not just here, but in a lot of places where it was so unfair that you, as a solo business, especially if you're renting a place and you have a lot of product that you want to move, you cannot move if there's nobody coming because, oh, sorry, you're in a lockdown. I mean, it's not helping anyone. Now, sure, the numbers of cases drops and the deaths drop, but the business drops as well. And then the next time around, there's another lockdown, they're going to drop again. And it's going to keep doing that until the economy goes, or the economy does this, that everything gets more expensive. Like the gas in Canada right now is $1.60.
Yeah, actually, I just want to elaborate on that a little bit. I went over there this weekend, and before I went over, every time I go over, I always gas up before I go. And this time, I ended up going a little bit later. I left on Friday, and I didn't do that, and I didn't obviously have enough gas to go all the way down the Campbellton and then come back in the Brunswick there. So I crossed the border. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I go in town here and I'm like, everything's closed. I'm like, well, okay. So I crossed the border and the city of Edmundston has more stores and stuff like that. So their fuel station was open. I went. It was like $1.53 a liter, and it costed me. I have a little Toyota Corolla that I use as like a winter car, and it costed $57 to fill the tank, and it was at a quarter. And I fill my car up here in the U.S. for like $34 from almost empty.
That's so funny. That's so bad.
I mean, it's
$50 Canadian's like 35 US.
And
that's for what,
I think
quarter
30.
tank,
I think 30 is even
tank?
pushing it sometimes. No, it's really crazy expensive. I mean, the gas is crazy expensive compared to the United States, but the diesel fuel is going up too over here, going up by quite a bit.
Okay.
Like it's see, you have to take the difference in the liters and the gallons, because gallons, there's 4.5 liters to a gallon in Canada, and there's 3.79 over here. Yeah, it's a little different, but anyway, as far as I know, because I'm not that smart, is that I get way more gas for what I pay for over here than what I did over there.
Probably.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, if you come over here, if you come over to the States, you're not really saving any money. You are saving money, but with the exchange, you're not saving as much as if the dollar would be at par. Like, if the dollar would be at par, you'd be saving almost $25 to $30 on a tank. That's a lot of money.
Wow.
If that was
economy's
like
not good enough right now for that to ever happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
Well, as far as what Trudeau said, we should be okay by 2040 something.
Yikes.
Yeah, well, they have already predicted, and this isn't to scare anybody, because I'm a lunatic when it comes to knowing a lot of things, but gas is supposed to be by $2 by the end of the year. Jesus. A liter.
Well,
so
if the protest continues, it may increase a lot sooner.
So $2 a liter would be 100 liters is 200.
But
so for 50 liters it'd be $100. So for anyone that has a 50-liter tank in their car, it'd be like $100.
Jesus.
And that's like, you have to almost do like your Nick does and just drive your bicycle.
Owning a car is the worst financial decision you can make. If you're not at a job that you can safely say that you're safe at working at and not going to get, lose your job. Yeah. And you're making enough revenue and you have enough backup money to be able to say, hey, if the car breaks down, I need to pay for the parts. Right. If I hit a car, I need to make sure, well, obviously you need to pay for insurance. So you need to bill for insurance, gas, part repairs that might happen, oil changes, any sort of maintenance. You come to realize, unless you have a job that makes you like $40,000 a year to upwards, it's not a great idea, especially if you're in a city. If you're in a city, a bike will do you justice. You can go anywhere. It won't cost you a dime apart from your own energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper to feed yourself than to pay for gas,
trust me.
And,
a lot of people, including myself, could use a little more of a pedal bike in their life. I know whenever I was in high school, I biked all the time with my friends. It's like, try and find a bike I fit.
I'll tell you what, when you come over here in Ottawa, we'll go for a fucking walk. We'll go and see the protest.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm really considering going next weekend. I really, 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 really want to go. I wanted to go this weekend, but that's not going to be able to happen. I can't get a test this Wednesday, but I will be able to do it next Wednesday, and I really want to go. I want to go support it. That's my country. I want to support it.
Sounds
if it
fantastic.
Happens, it happens here in the States, I want to support it too. I mean, it's just something. I don't think people like a lot of people think like the two countries here are the same or very similar, but me experiencing actually living over here now, there's actually quite a bit of a difference. But especially before when Trump was in office, you could tell the difference between the two countries. Like, because like right now where we have Biden here and where you guys have Trudeau, I find it's almost like the two are trying to match. Like,
That's true.
Biden wants mandates. Trudeau wants mandates. Biden wants more expensive gas. Trudeau wants more expensive. Like, everything, it's almost like the countries are trying to match everything. You know what I mean? It's
Trying to
it's
become
getting,
one
yeah,
country.
yeah, which I wouldn't care. But
U.S. Canada, boom.
There you go.
yeah,
I mean, it'd be pretty cool having a new flag that would represent both.
yeah.
I mean, you can see some of those at the protest.
Yeah, Canada be the new state. Some people are like, whoa, no.
Oh, I mean, if Quebec wants to leave themselves out of it, that's their choice. It's kind of like Hawaii, where they don't consider themselves part of the same country.
Yeah, I actually, you mentioned that place. Are they even locked down at all? Are they still like out
Hawaii?
there with their...
I think they had lockdown. I haven't read on it though.
I don't know.
But I mean, like, they're an island,
right?
I don't know how many people are on the island actually.
I think it would have depended on the tourism of the island, because otherwise,
I mean, it's a lot less tourism because unless you have the vaccine passport, you can't really
go anywhere.
So if you live there and you're not vaccinated, you don't plan to be, you're never going to go away until, things change.
Until the mandates drop.
Yeah.
Let me take a look.
Are you sharing your screen? No.
No, I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Talk about a place that they like. Why did they even quarantine? They're like on their own island. So what if everybody gets it? It's not like it's gonna go anywhere.
Not really.
What are you gonna do? Give it to some poor porpoise that's gonna find his way into some fisher's net and somewhere on a Red Lobster's customer's table starts eating it? Oh, I guess I got COVID. Yeah.
So they've had 50,000 confirmed cases, is what I'm reading here.
So like
What's
whole
the
island.
population like?
The whole island.
Everybody. No.
The population of Hawaii is 1.4 million. That's a lot.
For 50,000 cases, I guess.
50,000 cases is very reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But that does help because they don't have like everyone
what's
coming
the
in and
population again over there?
Like 1.4 million.
1.4 million. So that's like Ottawa with all the protesters in it on a Saturday.
Pretty much.
And that's in 2019, so it's probably jumped to 1.5 million by now.
Wow.
Cool.
Jeez. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's what doesn't make sense. You have an island and you tell everyone to quarantine. It's like, aren't we like stuck enough?
already quarantined from the rest of the planet.
Like we know, like Newfoundland,
from the rest of the world.
Newfoundland's like kind of landlocked from the rest of the world. PEI, well, thanks to that big ass bridge that taxpayers still pay, but then yet again still pay when they come back across the bridge.
$50. It's still $50. Yeah. I'm pretty sure though. I'm not sure if it's true, but I'm pretty sure they're planning on removing that.
Oh, they should. I mean,
of course,
we paid enough taxes when we're over there. I mean, and you guys still do. Why the hell are you paying to go across that friggin' thing? Yeah, it's nice, but
you can go there. You can't come back unless you have $50.
Yeah, I know. I don't get that. Welcome. Oh, wait, you don't have no money? Well, I guess you're part of us then.
That's why they're all stuck
now.
there.
Yeah. Guess I'm working on Anna Green Gables farm. Yeah.
Guess I'll have to go sell some potatoes.
Yeah. No, but literally, you think, look at Hawaii. It's like, it's so far out of an island that you literally have to like look at different parts of the map so you can actually see it.
Yeah, you have to
Like,
find it. Yeah,
You have to like
it's
zoom out.
Where's Waldo?
Yeah. Oh, I think the video is messing up now.
Oh, well, yeah, not just your video.
Yeah, we just heard your voice just sounded.
The devil came out.
Hold on here.
Oh no.
Come on.
Oh, there you go.
Some technical difficulties.
Oh, you need to apologize for all the people that are watching.
Our apologies for the technical difficulties we're experiencing right now. Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm purebred Canadian, so it should be all right for me to say that.
Well, I'm a Canadian citizen, so sorry, Should be all right for me to say it too?
I love it.
Okay, Janik. So why did you choose to get the vaccine?
Yeah, I think I'm
And
back.
will you get the booster? And sorry for holding the microphone.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, awesome. It's working. All right, so what did I miss?
All right, so Vanessa asked me why did I get the vaccine?
And if he wants to get any boosters.
So, reason I got the vaccine, I want this to be over and done with. I realized that this is not going to be over and done with until we do something about it.
Yeah.
So, that's the reason. It's kind of like Shane, the reason he got vaccine was because that's the only way he could go see his family, which is very fucking dumb.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I'm not taking no booster. I can tell you that.
No, I don't plan to either.
No.
Well, I'm not.
And if I was you,
one.
I mean, you do what you want, Nick. But at this point, honestly, I wouldn't worry about it.
I got it. We're fighting, and I'm sure we're gonna win. So I'm not gonna risk the third dose, even though there's a good chance that I won't get any side effects because I haven't had any from the first two. What is it really gonna benefit me? Like a 4% better chance of not getting the other variants, but Omicron, as far as we know, that it's just not gonna make it better. It's gonna make it worse.
Yeah.
So there really isn't a point for me right now to get another dose. There really isn't. Because at this point, the way it's going, the way some people, not all, the minority, I guess you could say, is that they're under the impression that this is the new normal. And I'm like, okay, so 50 years in, I might still be alive by then. You're gonna tell me, okay, today we're gonna have our 600th shot, our daily dose of vaccine. All right, pop it in, pop it out. It's just a, an everyday morning thing. You just pop in the vaccine. Like we're not gonna be that. We're definitely not gonna let that happen. There is no way in my lifetime where I'll let someone just pop a shot every like 2 months because from the research that the government has provided, you should take your 25th shot because it shows that it'll increase your chance of not death from COVID by 0.0003%.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's mandatory now. So if you don't take it, you can't have a job. You can't go to the store. You can't travel. You can't see your family.
But they don't call it mandatory. It's still voluntary.
Voluntary.
How is it voluntary? The moment you get laid off, it's not voluntary anymore.
If you're multi-millionaire,
then
it's voluntary because you don't need to really go anywhere. You just fucking order everything.
But
if you need a job to live,
really though.
Well, I'm sorry, mate, but it is forced. It's forced. There's no question about it.
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
Absolutely. I mean, if it was a choice, I don't think people would be. If it would be a choice and everything would just be left open and just be like, hey, you guys are adults. If you're sick, not to go outside. If little Andy is coughing, probably shouldn't send him to school.
Just don't go next to him if he's coughing. I mean, even like if someone's sick, even before COVID, you don't actively go next to them and get all cuddly. You'll be like, all right, I see you have
You're
something
a
I
little
don't
bit
want to
sick,
catch.
you know?
I don't want to get the cold.
Uh-huh.
I've already gotten it, or I don't want to get it. Then you take your small distance and you try your best to avoid it. You're probably still gonna get it,
Yeah.
but it's all right. You know, we get the things. We've always gotten the things. They suck.
Your
That's what
immune
it
system
is.
works through it. You get better. You're stronger for it next time.
Oh, and our antibodies are significantly better than the vaccine.
Well, now there was a study, and I to be honest with you, I don't know how long this video is gonna last on YouTube because they do like to censor everything. So I'm just letting you know. So download this video because we might have to put it on other streaming sites.
Probably.
But
you can put it on Odyssey.
yeah, and Rumble. Rumble's a good one too.
Cool.
You know, if they allow Alex Jones on there, so we should be all right. But he came. It was actually true, but yeah, actually came true about a lot of things. But anyway, like I was saying though, it's just like would be just your choice. Would have been no lockdowns. Would have just been like, hey, there's this thing going around, and we advise everybody to stay inside and
wash your hands.
All
right.
Just social distance. We recommend stores wear mask or people, or you know what I mean. We recommend places, recommending or wanting people to wear it, but we're not going to force you to. Then I think a lot of people would be like, well, they just make their own decision. But where it's like people are forced to do it, what you see is a lot of people saying, "Oh, really? You're gonna tell me to do it? Fine, I won't." Oh, you're gonna force me to do it? Fine, I just won't do it. You know what I mean? Instead of people complying and being their own choice, they're just not gonna do it.
Well, I mean, people have been complying for 2 years now, and where is it getting us? Nowhere.
No, yeah, really. Well, it's true. No, but that's what I mean. Like, if people, that's what I'm saying. People are more. I think people would comply more if the government would just say, okay, look, listen, there's this disease going around or virus going around. We recommend people we recommend people social distance, wear a mask, and there's a vaccine that's out, and we recommend you take it, but it's on you.
Yeah.
Then
I think they actually
maybe
showed like all the information on it too. They didn't just block everyone that
would be great.
Well, that's it. Remember in school, whenever you would be in class and you'd raise your hand to ask questions? Well, now it's like you're not even allowed to do that. You ask questions.
No, like, you do this, you get fired.
Yeah,
the moment you do that, you're an anti-vaxxer, even if you've gotten all your vaccines your whole life.
You get canceled. People get offended, and then they're not your friend no more, or stupid shit like that. But it's like,
it's ridiculous.
Like, I don't know. It's just I think people have become too soft. Honestly, I think people have become too soft. Like, literally for their own good. Too much for their own good. Well, things are going on. Things are going on around the world. It's like they need someone to hand them the guide of what to do. Yeah. So what were you going to say something? I know I've been ranting for a little bit.
Oh, I wanted to comment on the fact that nurses and doctors getting laid off in Ontario due to the vaccine policies. And then because they were so short-staffed, they had COVID positive doctors and nurses going to work at hospitals in Ontario instead of letting unvaccinated doctors and nurses just keep their jobs.
Oh, really?
Like pushing surgeries and I guess exposing people to COVID more and more by not letting these COVID positive people rest. Like, honestly, from my humble opinion, if you're sick, stay home. Whether it's COVID, whether it's a regular cold, whether you have fevered and you're not sure what you have, just stay home, rest, go to the doctor if you can, but don't go to work sick. And especially hospitals, like I am assuming that they have the technology to check on the symptoms of every single person before they go into the hospital,
right?
So they verify that they are not symptomatic and with COVID. So this was just ridiculous for me to find out, because why are you laying off healthy people and forcing sick people to work? That just doesn't make any sense to me personally.
I got a point on this.
Yeah.
What's that?
This is a very interesting pointer. So you know how when it started, China built like 3 hospitals with like in like 10 days.
Oh yeah,
some ridiculous number like that.
Right.
Yep.
Obviously they didn't fire, or they definitely hired people to work at those 3 hospitals. They didn't fire people.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada and other places, instead of building or expanding on a hospital, because I'm fully aware there's a cat.
So distracted by your cat.
Because the thing is, they were, you know how in the media it was saying, the hospital beds are getting full, or every time there's a wave, it's getting full. How many times have they actively tried to resolve that? They fired nurses, doctors that weren't vaccinated, and we've never heard of an expansion or a new hospital built specifically to help patients with COVID. Apart from the beginning when they were, getting a building and doing like tests and such, they've never actually tried to make that solve that problem. So they really, like, they're not trying to make this so we can live with it. They're just trying to be like, it's because of big numbers, hospitals are full, and then they were always blaming it on it's 100% anti-vax, or not anti-vax. No, the people that didn't get vaccinated is the people that are in the hospitals.
We're not even enough. Like, seriously, we are 10% of the population or less. And
in Canada.
In Canada, and like people like myself have been perfectly healthy the whole time. So I don't know where they're getting all those sick and vaccinated people that are flooding the hospitals. Because if 10% of the Canadian population is flooding hospitals, then we have a serious hospital shortage. Honestly.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of things that don't add up when you really think about all of it. It's just like I've never heard of a single news report being like, hey, they're in Canada, they're building 3 new hospitals within 10 days to help with all these beds. Nope, they've never done that.
Geez, there was a bridge that washed out in Campbellton, and that goes like from where the PRP school, the French school is, over across. It took them like a year and a half to build, like, I don't know.
It was such a small bridge. Like, just a standard, like,
a bridge that fits like what, 8
15-meter long bridge.
Yeah, that's crazy. Not that long.
China built a fucking hospital, a multi-story, 10 days. New Brunswick builds a bridge in a year and a half.
Yeah.
But priorities.
Priorities, man. Let's get this thing built.
4 years later.
Really, it's unbelievable how, as far as we're concerned, they haven't tried to make it better or any safer for us, or not safer, but what's the word? They haven't tried to actively help with the situation apart from the vaccine. A vaccine is the cure. Vaccine is the thing. I know. Oh man, there's just so much that just doesn't make sense.
No.
I get it. There's a lot of vaccines out there for a lot of things, and they definitely did help.
Yeah.
But saying that it's the end all be all, and if you don't have it, you're not allowed to have a job. You're not allowed. It's getting to the point where it's whoa, minute.
If you're unvaccinated, at these days, you're not allowed to have a job. You're not allowed to visit any relatives to the hospital that are sick. You're not allowed to receive blood or an organ if you need an organ donor. You're not allowed to travel even to different provinces. You're not allowed to, go on an airplane or the train. You're not allowed to do anything. You're not allowed to dine in at a restaurant. You're not allowed to go to the movies. You're pretty much,
Yeah, you're screwed.
you're stuck. And yet we keep being blamed for all those cases. So when a month ago they started to close down restaurants and movie theaters where I was already not allowed in for a couple of months prior, then I was just laughing and telling them, like, who are you gonna blame now? The unvaccinated people haven't stepped on a movie theater in months or in a restaurant. Who are you gonna blame now?
Yeah,
just so
we've
crazy.
realized that confirmed cases are coming from all these different areas, which none of the unvaccinated are in.
Yeah.
But if you get the vaccine though, you're a good citizen.
Yeah.
Oh, but if there's a booster shot and you don't take it, then you're bad citizen, even if you're double vax.
Right.
Yeah, it's true though. They do like label it like that.
Even if you're vaccinated, you're not encouraged to travel and visit your families, and
No, not
you're
at
not.
all.
Oh, stay home.
Like
It's
there's
still there. It's not going away, by the way. It's still there.
You're not allowed to go to stores without a mask if you're unvaccinated. Oh yeah, unvaccinated people in some places can't even go to the grocery store. Like, are you kidding me? Like, not even that.
yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
You know, talking about all that, your mother, Yannick, sent me. This was last year. This was I'd like to say last March that New Brunswick had like this chart, and they were gonna. It was like they were gonna do it in sections. They were gonna do it in like red, orange, and green, and then like everything's open. Like they wanted to like it was gonna be basically, if it would have went that way, by like October everything would have been open. There would have been no border restrictions.
Yeah.
And they were saying, well, if we can get at least 75% of the people with one dose of the first vaccine, then it was like, no, we want everybody to get the first dose, and we want everyone to at least get 75% of the second one. And now there's like 90% that's vaccinated, and they still don't want to open the country.
No.
So yeah, people are outraged.
It's ridiculous.
They don't even advertise it.
Ridiculous.
That means that 90%. So let's take 90%, and we're gonna say 30. Let's say 40% really didn't want it, but they did because they just wanted their life to go back to normal, and they didn't want to have to deal with the government. Well, now that 40% is now 10%, but that also make up more, which is the part of the people that are like in Ottawa or Toronto, like protesting. It's because it's outrageous. You know, it's gone from 75% for the first, and 50 or 25% for the second, and it went up to 75% for the second. Then now it's 90. It's like people are just fed up. They're lying. Obviously, people are just like, you know what? Maybe this thing is a conspiracy theory. It's just people are just fed up.
Yeah.
People are fed up, yeah.
It's not the fact that people want to be conspiracy theorists. Is that sometimes, well, what other way are you supposed to look at it? You know what I mean? They're supposed to be the people that's, telling us the truth. Why do we have to all be journalists now and, question everything? I don't like questioning everything, but, I mean, it's part of life. But, I mean, it's definitely gotten worse. And a lot of people that aren't even remotely into conspiracies are like, yeah, I don't get it.
It just doesn't make sense anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Especially when you have so many people social distancing, wearing masks. double and triple vaccinated and still barely doing any traveling, and it just, our society is not, it's not progressing. We're still closing down businesses, pushing people to homelessness, increasing the suicide rates. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. I just don't know what they're expecting. Like, you know,
I mean, I don't think they're expecting anything like that. Well, they haven't even said what they're expecting. They're not even trying. Like Doug Ford, to put it simple, he said that within March, everything's gonna be reopened for the vaccinated, but all the mandates and everything that's already there that's like mandatory is still gonna be mandatory. The only benefit is you can go meet up with people again. You can go to the store with a bigger limit of people. You can go to the movies with a bigger limit of people. That's
Right.
it. But there's no actual thing being said like, hey, we're gonna be removing all the mandates, or soon we're not gonna have to wear a mask, or like they're not promoting it at all. They're not giving us hope whatsoever.
No.
Exactly.
No hope, and yeah, and everyone just feels like there's no end. You know, it's gonna be like booster, then it's gonna be a second booster, and a third one, then a fourth one, and then some random variant. You know, people just fed up. They just want to be able to go to work, come home, feed their family, go on vacation, or do whatever the hell they were doing before that they can't do now. You know, I think there's a big part of people, because I know for one thing, like before 2016, I never knew anything about politics, and I still really don't. But I've noticed that before then, I never gave a shit about the news.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. Like me and you, Nick, we'd never talk about politics. Right, Nick? Well, remember I used to go over there all the time? We never talked about that. Ever.
No, we talk about
music, government, talk about music,
about
video games, BeamNG, Grand Theft Auto.
New games especially.
And
we never had the concern
we never
of anything
cared.
else.
And I mean, really, like, do we really? Well, we do now, because it's affecting our rights and our abilities to live life normally.
Literally. Exactly.
You know what
Shane,
I mean? Yeah.
Can you tell me more about how, as I understand, you are double vaccinated? How are the current rules affecting you? Why you as a trucker are affected by this, and why are you promoting the protest?
Well, I mean, here in the U.S., especially in like Maine, where I'm at, because like you guys, like every province has different rules. Well, in Maine, everything is pretty much normal. Like I can go into any store pretty well. In Maine, yeah, in any store in Maine I've gone into, I've never.
If you're unvaccinated, can you still go?
Oh yeah, they don't ask you for vaccines in Maine at all. I've never been asked. I've never been asked in Maine, in New York, in Massachusetts, in New Hampshire, any state I've been to so far. Okay, which is Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I've never been asked for a vaccine card. I've never been asked to wear a mask. I walked in, no mask, no one said anything.
That's incredible.
Now last January, Massachusetts, you had to wear it everywhere. Like I walked in, they're like, wear a mask. So I put one on. But New York, where I went, like upstate New York, like you go into a Love's and they have a big sign outside, wear a mask, and everyone would be walking in with no mask on. They didn't say anything. Even the workers were like, fine, whatever. They just put it down. But like in Maine, like here, it's never been that bad. I mean, yeah, like last year and the year before, like restaurants, you had to wear it, and then when you sat down, but they got rid of that pretty quick. They were like, yeah, this doesn't make much sense. You go into an Applebee's, and you just see the people wearing it below their nose, and they tell you, "Oh, you have to wear your mask, or else we have to ask you to leave because you have to wear it to walk to your desk." And then you see everybody just talking with no mask on, and they're eating, but yet like they're still like, "Come on, just follow the rules." You know what I mean? Just walk to the table, put it on. It's like, how's it? It's just obviously people just were like, here it was just, it didn't last long at all. Like right now, you can come over here. We could go to any store. We go to a movie theater. You won't have to show you're vaccinated. You won't have to wear a mask. Yeah, it's awesome. Now, why am I supporting it? Because one, I love Canada. I'm from there originally, but I hate what it's become. And I find it's not the people, it's the government. I find the government's taken over control of people's rights, and whether it's your paycheck or to everyday things, it seems like, I mean, a lot of people would argue it's like that in the States too, but from living in both countries, I find the way the government is now in Canada, it's like during the pandemic, you'd go walk your dog, and in some places, if you did that during a certain time, you get a fine. Like,
wow,
that was never here. Like, I drove around, me and my wife, during like right there at the beginning, we drove to Calais, Maine for a drive because like we literally had nothing to do, so we were so bored. So we drove to Calais. It was just like 3 hours away, just for fun, just for nothing, because like we were just sick of just sitting home. So we drove around. We saw cops. They didn't pull us over. They didn't tell us to go home. You know what I mean?
Nice.
People weren't like that. But like I heard of all these stories, and where people were trying to go to like different regions in New Brunswick, and they'd check their ID, and if they weren't from the region, they wouldn't sell them stuff. It's like, fuck, it was never that bad over here.
Wow.
But like the government, in terms of that, is just, Canada has a very socialist government. So it means like, it's like they give you stuff for free, and then they look like they're really good government. Oh, our government cares for us. But then again, what you don't realize is how much are you losing in the long run. Well, look at the rights that you have now as opposed to what we have in the States right now. I mean, the States is getting bad. It's getting bad. But it's still really locked down compared to the States. That's why a lot of people over here now are like, holy shit, like, we support them, come on, open up. Because it's like, it's that bad. Like, it's harder for me. It's harder for me to go to my own country, which is Canada, than it is to come to the United States. And I'm a resident over here. I'm not a citizen. It's, like I said, it's not the people, it's the government, and something's got to change. And I 100% support the truckers in that, because they, for one, like you were saying to me why I support it. Well, first of all, we had 2 years of the pandemic. Okay, so even with the 14 days to lower the curve, or whatever it was called, truck drivers were still on the road. Okay, so when no one knew how bad this thing was going to be, like, we were still driving truck. Okay? Yeah. So this thing could have been like bad to the point where you caught it and you died. And we were still out there driving truck. Okay? Because we knew it had to be done. Well, now, 2 variants later, besides the first one, now they're just telling truckers that they have to be vaccinated. Why?
Obviously, you're gonna go lick the strawberry in the back of your truck. You're gonna go touch all the products in the back just to make sure they fucking get it.
No, but like, why?
And you mentioned that
now
it's not just a vaccination, but you also have to take a test, right, to come to Canada?
Yeah, like, well, I'll tell you the process. So, I go on my phone. I look for a Walgreens, which I'll go on the Walgreens website, and then I choose according to where I'm going to be going when I'm trucking. So, like in my area, I look for one. If I know I'm passing through a Walgreens that's 2 hours away, I'll check that Walgreens in that area and see if there's any tests available, and I'll book the appointment. And then when it's time for my appointment, I park my truck off the side, I walk up to the window, I swab my nose on each nostril. I don't go all the way up like they do over there. I go up in my nostril on each side, I put it in a little thing, I give it to them, they fold it and they say, okay, you're going to get your results within 72 hours. So then I go on my email, I get the result, says, yeah, you don't have COVID, okay? You take that, screenshot it on my phone. I go on the Arrive Can app. Okay. Then I upload that. I'll upload a picture of my passport. I tell them that I have my first and second vaccination, which day I had gotten each one on, which one I took. And then they asked me like all the random questions, like if I was exposed to COVID. It's like, well, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. But you answer, obviously, according to what they ask you. And then at the end, they give you a little QR code. And I screenshot that with a little number. And then they say, well, which border are you going to? So I choose the one I'm going to. I get there. And then I show them my passport. I show them my vaccine card. I then show them a screenshot that I took my PCR test. And then I showed them a screenshot of me doing the ArriveCan app. And then they asked me a series of questions. Where are you going? How long are you going to be there? You know? And then they ramble off whatever thought they have, and then they let me go. And then whenever I come back to the United States, they ask me, how long have you been out of the United States? Friday, Saturday. Okay. Where you live? Frenchville. Okay. Nice weather? Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Pretty cold. All right, have a good day.
Wow. It's just such a world of difference. All the things you have to...
I'm not saying it's
come to
perfect.
Canada.
It's
to
just
go to the US is the
easy. Wow. It's just unbelievable. Like just hearing you describe the process, and if you have to come to Canada like once a month or something, it would just take forever to do all that.
I've done it twice a month.
Time.
I've done it maybe 10 times so far. At least 10. At least 10.
That's just
I mean, I go, so it's the same process every time, you know. Go to look for a Walgreens. I make the appointment. I have to make sure that appointment is according to wherever I'm passing. Because if it's not, and I end up getting a load going somewhere else, then obviously I can't make that appointment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I make that appointment for 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I'm passing through at 10. Okay, I park my truck. I go drop my trailer. I go do my test. I then do my test, and then I leave. And I get the result. Screenshot that. it's a process.
So much.
It's
so
a process.
Tedious.
You know what I mean? They literally make it hard for you to go there on purpose.
But why though? If you're doing it for work and things like that, like
here's the thing.
You know,
why? Before I would say last year, just like October, November.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a job in just across the river on Canada's side, then I could travel back and forth. But as long as it was, if I was going over there to work, I could cross over there, go to work, and cross back.
Okay. All right.
But at that point, then you wouldn't. At that time, you wouldn't have needed to be vaccinated, and you wouldn't need to do a PCR test.
Right.
But here's the catch. Okay, so one time I crossed, and I had been given incorrect information. I don't care what the Border Patrol say. I had called, and the Border Patrol told me on the Canadian side that because I was a citizen, that I'd only be given a fine if they told me to quarantine, and I didn't. Like if they told me to go home and quarantine for 14 days and I didn't do it, then I'd be given a fine. So I said, okay, so I can cross and just go home and just go get whatever I needed to get and come back, because that's what I want to do. I want to get my side by side and come back. Well, I tried to cross and that didn't work out. There's two ladies that I went to the window. I showed my vaccines. I showed everything. The only thing I didn't have was my PCR test. And because I didn't have that, there was like 4 of them like asking me questions. I'm like, you need 4 to like talk to me? Like, am I that like smart? 'Cause I don't feel like it. I like anyway. So they gave me this big speech, and you know, I said fuck, and they almost arrested me for that. And I said, well, don't we have freedom of speech? They're like, yeah, but that's demonizing us in our job. I'm like, they're like, yeah, but no, yeah, well, you do have freedom of speech, but when it comes to demonizing our jobs, there's exemptions to speech. And I'm like, anyway, just let me go back to the United States because we have freedom of speech over there. But anyway, I was pissed off by the day. But yeah, they wanted to give me a $6,000 fine, and they almost did. But I said, well, I'm not in Canada yet. I'm at the border. I said, I get the $6,000 fine if I go into Canada, right? And they're like, yeah. Well, she said that's the thing. Like, we're not letting you into Canada, but if you go, then we have to give you a fine. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go then. Okay. Well, if you don't go, then you don't have a fine to pay. They're like, next time you cross the border without PCR test, we're gonna give you a fine. It's like, okay. Got my truck and drove back to the States. And they're like, oh, so that didn't go very well. Nope. Okay. Way I went. Yeah, welcome home. Yeah.
You're Canadian, eh? Well,
yeah, and I
go
tried
back
to
to
and
US.
you know what? Here's the thing. I tried to tell them too. Like, I had called this number at this place. Oh, who did you speak to? And I couldn't remember. It was like 3 weeks before, and oh, we doubt that. All our calls are monitored. Okay, well, if your calls are monitored, then go back, and I'll give you my phone number and trace it back to the last time I called, and you'd see who I talked to. They didn't want to do that.
Wow, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
wow.
no, it's
I can't even.
Yeah, no, that's why like sometimes I don't know. That's why I wish I'm happy. I'm happy that they're doing what they're doing. I see what they're doing. I know why.
Of course.
It's just that it's like, holy shit. Enough's enough.
Enough is enough, for sure.
And this area, okay, I don't really want to say because we're on the internet, but like this area that we're in, and you know where I'm at, is very like this community is very reliant on the other side of the border. Like the borders are reliant on each other. Customers go here, customers go there, and whenever they're not, like we lost Kmart, which is like I don't know, like what Zellers used to be like. You remember Zellers?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. Had pretty much like everything, like kind of like Walmart.
Yeah.
Lost that. Now McDonald's is gone because they're building some fucking new border and bridge. But it's just to say, like, the communities, you can tell that, like, you know, a lot of people have been to the other side, and the other people on the other side have been here. Like, you can tell that, you know, there's community in between. But where they're completely blocked off, it's like when you're just in this area, you have to travel like an hour if you want anything. But with the border there, it's like, oh, you can travel 10 minutes to Walmart. Like, not even. You know what I mean? Yeah, like across the river, and over the road, over the hill, Walmart's there, Canadian Tire's there, everything's there. Just, you know, unless you have a PCR test and all that flack I have to go through, then you can't go.
It's just so unfair.
Yeah. In December, In December, though, they opened it up for a bit, where let's say anyone that was living in Canada, if they want to go to the U.S., well, you can go to the U.S. That's no problem. But if you stayed for less than 72 hours and then returned back to Canada, then you didn't have to worry about getting a PCR test and paying a big fine. But now, there's no more of that. And for me, that didn't count because because I live in the States. So I've been out of Canada longer than 72 hours. So for me to go into Canada, I still got to do the same thing. So it didn't change anything for me. Well, like if Nick wanted to come see me and you guys wanted to come see me, or like any of my family wanted to come see me at that time, they could have. But for me, the rules didn't change.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm just hoping that that's why I want to go support the truck drivers, and like I was answering your question, it's just that I want to stand up for our country. I mean, you see what everyone's doing, and it's like it's to be part of history and to be part of something that you believe in, and I believe in a free country. I don't believe in communism. That's just what it is. I don't. And support that. No, I'd support that any day. Because if Canada keeps going the way it's going now and nothing changes and the U.S. does, eventually people are going to be like, okay, so we're just living in another China.
Yeah, and then just change country.
Well, that's it. Like, where do you go? Well, where do you go then? You know what I mean? Like, literally, like, you're choosing your poison at that point.
Yes.
So yeah. What do you have to say? I know I have to go to bed soon.
Well, I see that most of us that are supporting the protest, the Freedom Convoy, Ottawa, Canada, and I guess the world at this point, it's because we have been heavily affected by the restrictions one way or another, whether vaccinated or unvaccinated. So any thoughts on the people that are not pro-freedom and that want the restrictions and the vaccines to keep going? Because I mean, I'm not against the vaccines. I am just against forced vaccination and getting people laid off due to the vaccines. And in your particular situation, I think it's completely unnecessary that you have to take a test every time that you want to come to Canada.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I believe in freedom. I believe in your right to do what you want to do. And I also believe in everyone being responsible for the choices they make and the things that they do. I believe in law and order. And I think that in the last couple of years, there hasn't been a lot of that. It's been just, we make the rules, you listen to this, never mind the Constitution, never mind the Charters of Rights. But it's like, now more people are like, wait a minute. Like, we're doing all this, but that's not even in the law. You don't find it in the law books, everything, all this. You find that on Google. All these laws that's going on right now. You don't find that on the law books in Canada, on the Canadian website. Well, if they do, it's because they updated it recently.
Yeah.
But you never saw this on there before. And if you see it anywhere, you see it on Google or Yahoo, if anyone still uses that. That's what I mean. Like, you don't see these in law books for like what the law is. It's what they've determined is the right thing, and they want you to do, or else. It's like a mob. We tell you to do it, and you don't do it, well, you're gonna pay. That's not the way this country's supposed to work. You're supposed to follow the law, and if you don't, then you pay a fine. You speed, get caught, you pay a fine. You don't get caught, then hey. Obviously don't speed.
Yeah.
But yeah. But that's what I'm telling you, Nick. I want to come up. Not this weekend. The next one that they come up. because I know this weekend I can't, because I can't get a test, and if I do, it'd be too late. At least next weekend, I know for sure. I have nothing going on. I know, and if I get the long weekend, that's great, because then I could leave on Friday, get there, spend the whole day there, Saturday, and then head back like Saturday night or Monday morning. So it works out. No, I'd like to go. I'd like to go support that.
Absolutely.
I told a lot of people that.
That
I'd
sounds
be like,
wonderful.
"Oh, why are you gonna do that?" It's like, don't even ask. If you don't know, then I don't have to tell you. If you don't know why I'm going to support it, then don't even worry about it.
Yeah. Yannick and I were talking about how the people that are against the protest are, well, as far as we're concerned, some of those people, it's because the quarantine and the pandemic didn't really change much their lifestyles. So they don't really see.
That's true. I believe that too.
You know?
Yeah, I believe that too.
They don't really see much of a difference.
And here's the other thing too. Let's all remember one thing. Just because they might be against all that doesn't mean that they're bad people.
Exactly. I 100% agree with you.
Just because they don't think all this doesn't mean they're bad people, but I will say that they are misguided in that decision.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And right now, it's a bad time in the country to be misguided. And I think that a lot of the misguided people just should be more open-minded to the fact of why they're doing it, not so much like, oh, just out there protesting, nothing's gonna change. It's like, well, if you were working your job normally for the last 2 years, you still get a paycheck, your wife still worked, your kids still went to school or whatever type of schooling they were doing, then like you said, they didn't experience really anything of a pandemic other than wear a mask and social distance, and if you get COVID, then you stay home for 14 days. Right? So it's like, well, I don't see what's going on here. What the hell? Fucking truckers. What are they doing that for? You know what I mean? But the people that experience it are the people like you, me, and everybody that lost a job or worked at a place where there was just people coming in where they couldn't keep workers, or the shifts would change, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like for me, where it was just like you drove on the roads that were supposed to be busy at 5:00, and you just set your cruise control on the way you went during those times. It's like, okay, that's a lot of people not working. Rest areas closed, service plazas closed, couldn't get food. You only go could maybe a convenience store, maybe, and on the side of the turnpike, they're like super expensive.
Yeah.
And it's not anything that's gonna make you healthy. It's fucking garbage.
Yeah. Know that. I agree.
Well, guys, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Sounds good.
This was a good podcast, though. It took us a little while to get things going, but I have everything set now. The only thing I have to do is get a new Mac. That's it. Because it doesn't like the thing doesn't like running more than one thing, and I think that's the reason with the video and all that. And I'm gonna hardwire a LAN cable all the way down in my basement here, so this way here it's not just Wi-Fi. I'll have a good steady connection.
Yeah, that would definitely help.
Yeah, I know my laptop, it seemed to work it really good, but I didn't have any of this stuff on there to do it, and I didn't feel like messing around with it. Because you see, it took me long enough for this. But now I have everything set, so now it's just come on, click the button, that's on, on, done. Takes like 10, 15 minutes to just, everyone get ready, but in terms of this, it takes seconds. So it shouldn't be a problem anymore.
Woohoo! That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to Nightland, Dreamland, and you guys have a good night. This was fun.
Absolutely.
You as well. Oh, before we go, I just want to make a comment on when you were talking about the fact that before vaccines were a thing, that we were all quarantining, like you guys were still driving around, we're still risking your lives, we're still, taking our supply, bringing in supplies to Canada, and I guess supplies to the United States as well. Nurses were working, doctors were working, teachers were working. Like, it's just, while we were trying to be safe and staying at home and quarantining, all of you guys, like, were the true heroes of our nation. And now to be told that if you don't get a vaccine, you're gonna get laid off, or if you don't get a COVID test, you're gonna get a fine. It's just, I completely understand where you're coming from and how do you feel, and that is one of the very strong reasons why I believe that we should all support the protest, the Freedom Convoy.
Oh, absolutely. And like you were saying about the doctors and stuff and the nurses, like, they're definitely up there just like we are. But I mean, if I look at it from the way I think it should have been looked at, everybody's essential to making the civilization that they're in work. Whether it's you mop the floors at a school, or you're a lawyer, or a doctor, or a truck driver, or a nurse, or a doctor. You know what I mean? You want to make that civilization work that you're in, that you like so much. You have to keep it going at the pace it's at.
Exactly.
Or at whatever it's at. As soon as you take a couple pieces of the puzzle out, well, you don't really have a picture anymore. And that's what I think it is. There's a lot of puzzles that have been, a lot of pieces of the puzzle that's been taken out. And right now it's just scattered, and people are just trying to put the pieces together.
Literally. Yeah, quite literally.
Well, guys, you guys have been awesome. This was a fun podcast. We should do this again. I'm gonna be back.
We should, most certainly.
I'm gonna be back on Saturday. So if you guys want to do one Saturday, I'll be back. We can do one Saturday night. What do you think?
I'd be up for it. I don't know about you.
I'd be up for it. I sort of have other plans, but I definitely look into that.
Well, I mean, if you're not up for it, me and Nick, we can do it Saturday. We don't have to do it for 3 hours. I mean, we can do it however long you want. But if you want to join the podcast, I mean, by all means, you're more than welcome.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys about these very important topics that have been majorly censored in all social media.
Yeah, and next time I'm going to try not to be so tired. Like tonight, I'm just super tired.
Because the setup is going to be so much faster, I'm sure you're going to be fully energized.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, for sure. All right. Well, good night, guys.